You're listening to the Biohackers World podcast.
All right, welcome to Biohackers World. I am here interviewing Kim Ressler. I'm super excited. I am Samantha Lander, a functional diagnostic nutritionist, speaker, influencer, mom, and DJ, a few other things, but this is not about me. This is about Kim. Kim is the founder and chief officer, CEO of SNIP Nutrigenomics. She became passionate about nutrigenomics after spending over 10 years coping with health challenges, frustrated with both conventional and traditional medicine's failure. I like to start with one thing. It's like, what is it that you would not want me to even bring up today to talk about?
What would I not want you?
Like
well, first, can we just say, hey, I am so excited to have met you.
Oh.
We actually had the opportunity to connect before, but being part of Biohackers World in Chicago, Biohackers World themselves are creating such an amazing community of bringing these amazing providers and companies together for all of our health, goals. Optimization, health span, and it's this beautiful community that's evolving. So I was so delighted to have the opportunity to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Let's go to one question you wouldn't want me to answer, or that I wouldn't want you to ask me.
Yeah, I think that always kind of throws people for a loop, but then it's good to learn a little bit more about your personal life a little bit. And
wow, one question I wouldn't want you to ask me. I don't know. I'm kind of an open book, I guess.
That's good. I
really am. But I guess one question that might be a little bit harder for me is just, knowing that, well, I guess you start to age yourself when you say, hey, I've got 3 adult children and my baby girl. The hardest thing is, what's it going to be like being an empty nester? I'm sorry. I'm not ready for it. My baby girl's going to be a senior in high school, and we just experienced her at a 2-week college course. And so we were like, oh, this is what empty nest is going to be like. And the whole time we both were like, oh, we got to wake up early, maybe fix her breakfast, or, where's she at, or checking in. And I'm not ready for that. So
yeah, I feel like when I ask that question, especially with moms, it's always about the kids. It's something that you don't want to talk about that pertains to the kids.
I think what's life going to be like as an empty nester? I'm not ready to look at that one yet.
Yeah.
I've got one more year to prepare.
Yeah. All right. Well, perfect. Let's talk a little bit about your personal journey and how you became a mom and a business owner and started all of this. Like what there's usually with us health practitioners, there's something that gets us driven and motivated, and we have this mission to help other women and create something beautiful to help them. Tell us about what that journey was like, and then we can talk about SNIP.
So the journey for me was that baby girl who's 17, almost 18 years old. When I was pregnant with her, they saw something interesting in my blood work, and they sent me off to a specialist. Well, that was the beginning of my own health journey, and you trying everything. I went undiagnosed and misdiagnosed is ultimately what happened. And the symptoms just kept compounding. It was first after the delivery, oh, you have postpartum depression. I don't have depression. I don't feel well. And so I started looking for answers, and you name it, I tried it. Yeah. I tried so many things from both allopathic providers as well as natural. I went Ayurveda, did a complete, very bland Ayurveda diet. The food was great, but I was clean eating. I went vegan. I did crazy cleanses. I was doing anything trying to reset because it felt like epigenetics. I was doing everything epigenetically correctly, fresh, clean water, good mindset. I was exercising. Exercise is so important. I was eating whole foods, but there was nothing that was getting me over that hump to feel better, and the exhaustion, the terrible sleep, the terrible digestion. And those symptoms kept compounding. Those compounded over the next 11 years.
Yeah, I feel like you're speaking my language, because I can completely relate to that. And you just try and you try and you try. Yeah. And I always say, like, symptoms are your body's way of telling you something, right. And so you know.
And then standard. They look at your blood work and they're like, you're sitting there going, I don't feel well, and your blood work is in the normal range, and they can't send you. They don't know what to do. We've got to marry and match symptoms with the blood work so that we can get to the health outcome that we all deserve. I mean, that's what we have to do.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, a lot of us, even if you're running labs in the functional world and the holistic world, you still have to look at his health history and the story that comes with that blood work to get a good answer.
I agree. I mean, it's symptoms, it's blood work, it's everything married together.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is. And it's really complex.
Yeah.
That is one reason I think that genetics just really open up and tell us somebody's strengths, weaknesses, where we need to focus, and how we can get to, that optimization the fastest, easiest, science-based, and backed to get there.
Yeah. So I have a question. So I know on my health history, I always ask if the person was a C-section or a vaginal birth, right? Because that's such an important thing that is not ever discussed. But I want to know, can you talk a little bit about your lab and then tell me if that is something you can see on the lab, those little types of things when they were younger, their health history as a child, does that show up?
No, that's not what's going to show up in genetics. Ultimately, we inherit our genes, our genetics from our parents, is what we do. And what you've inherited from them is what you're going to always have. They're your strengths and your weaknesses. It's like one person's this amazing athlete, and the next one it's just their cognitive functions through the roof. So, but you're not going to see based on at least I don't believe that you're going to see anything change with their genetics if they were a C-section versus a vaginal birth. Yeah. I think what you're going to see there is, and we both know it, that a vaginal birth going through the birth canal creates a different, does different things for the developments of the lungs and the gut, et cetera. That's not going to change the genetics.
Yeah. Well, let's hear a little bit about this beautiful test that you run.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know about it till recently, and I was like, oh, add this to the list.
So really interesting. In 2014, I wasn't living in Southern California. We had traded our beach life for mountain life, and I'm talking to one of my girlfriends, and she says, they've told me that my son's ADHD, and I refuse to put him on medication, and I think it's genetic. And so I watched her. I said, you've got to keep me posted. I had been looking for so long already, and I was looking for answers. And I thought, I wonder, but I want to see what we always want to wait to see what somebody else does. Anyway, we talked, and I said, what was the difference? And she said, night and day difference. I watched her spend $10,000 in 9 months on one pathway, basically one gene that they discussed. And she said it was a night and day difference. And they also took the child off of one food that he was struggling with. But again, night and day difference. And I thought, wow, I wonder if the stay power could be, because we're not what we eat, we're what we absorb and utilize. So I was like, I wonder if there's just something going on that my genetics may reveal. And before that, I knew nothing about genetics. I didn't realize that, there's genes that we can't change, but I didn't realize there were genes that were what we call actionable. And actionable means that science has proven very specific plant-based nutrition, vitamins, minerals, micronutrients with right cofactors can optimize when you have basically mutations or genetic variants. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's fascinating. So, which led me to this. It was 2018, and that's when I got introduced to the technology that I work with.
What were you doing before that?
I was just guessing. I was throwing darts.
Were you still in the health and wellness industry?
No,
decided?
I did a lot of philanthropic work. I retired in 2007, and I was doing a lot of philanthropic work. And
new chapter.
It was a new chapter. It was a new chapter, and it was. I was introduced to my technology. I've worked with it prior to launching my own company. And when I was like, wow, I can literally do one genetic swab, and I can address multiple genes simply and easily. I was like, I've got to try this. It's not tens of thousands of dollars, and then it's not hundreds of bottles of supplements. And I literally, at first, I thought it had to be a placebo effect. Yeah. I mean, that's what I thought, because I felt so much different. The energy, the sleep, the digestion. I mean, I could go on and on. I was that woman in my my metabolic health was so off in my early 40s.
But you, again, at this point, you were doing all the right things, right?
Well, I thought I was, but I wasn't. But obviously, those gene variants that I have, they were maybe stress or whatever reason they turned on or stopped functioning optimally. Anyway, so. Yeah, I was just like, this is so easy. And I was like, is it really real? But what I was saying, in my early 40s, because I think everything was so off, I was those hot flashes, night sweats, they were horrible. And they were like, oh, you're too young for that. And I'm like, anyway.
Not if you're stressed out and your body's on overload.
Right. So, yes, that is ultimately how I basically stepped into this, and then I dove deep. And I kept diving deeper and deeper and deeper. I kept meeting with geneticists, meeting with providers, digging through the science. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't even find out until 2022, so 2020, I'm sorry, that I had been living with a couple of autoimmunes, and they were never uncovered. However, to this date, I live pharmaceutical free, and I'm really excited about it. I feel good. My blood work looks excellent. So I marry and match the standard allopathic or Western medicine and that test with the things that I do naturally just to get the best health outcome. But I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know what I need to do, and which prompted me to launch SNIP in 2022. We've now partnered with over 600 providers and clinics in the U.S. Amazing. We're supporting. Genetics are complicated and they're confusing, and you really make it bring it down like layman's terms, so I feel like someone can really understand it. Like if you went and talked to someone, in the middle of a grocery store, they would probably understand it and be able to. There's a solution, which is nice. Like you give them the results, but then you give them a solution. Right? Exactly. Well, exactly. I mean, I think when you understand where those strengths and weaknesses are, and then instead of giving you a whole bunch of information and say, hey, go source it all yourself, we actually do create the solution. We create something called Code Complex, which is customized just for the individual. We can make one in literally 3 billion formulas. It's not I've got 5 formulas, let's stick this. No, it's made just for you based on your genetics. So
cool.
Yeah, I've made it my passion to educate, because we're also used to, I've got a headache, take something to get rid of it. No. Our bodies were made they're the most amazing human design. Give the body what it needs. The body will do what it needs to do. So, and that's kind of the nutrigenomic approach of giving it what it needs so that it can optimize and have the best cellular expression it needs.
Yeah. I feel better. You just had a little tongue twist with it too.
I know. Nutrigenomics.
It really
that's
is.
why.
I said it in the car ride like a million times on the way up here. I'm like, I got this.
That's why we the website SNIP Nutrition. Yeah. Because most people can't spell nutrigenomics, and most people don't even know what
and SNP is now kind of trending. I feel like people are learning they don't know what they're saying, but they're like, it's got to be genetic SNPs. I'm like, okay, do you know what you're talking about? They're like, no, but that's okay. So my question is, how long, you create this amazing supplement, is this something that I would have to stay on forever? Is it you do it for a year and then you retest and then maybe you don't need it as much? Or
the beautiful thing about genetics, it is a one and done test. Okay, so your genetic portion is a one and done test. You don't have to test again. But as far as how long may you be on the product, well, ultimately, I think you saw earlier, I showed that, I need 16 servings of salmon a day to get the amount of vitamin D I need based on my genetics.
So, and that will never change.
That's never going to change. Okay. So ultimately, if I can perfect my entire epigenetic lifestyle at all my food, because everybody says, can I do this with diet? We have to know. Farming practices have changed. Nutrient depletion. There is no way that somebody could eat 16 servings of salmon, let alone I think I need 13 cups of spinach for something else.
And
I'm, that's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Well, the point is most people are already, they're supplementing. Why are you taking what you're taking? Is it in the right format? Is it in the right dose? Do you have the cofactors for it to work optimally? Yeah. So Yes, my foundational product, I have currently been on it for 7 years.
So here, are there food products in there? Like in the
whole
supplement?
Food. It's a whole food-based supplement.
So here's my question, because I do a lot of food sensitivity testing. What if I do a food sensitivity test and I can't have one of the items that's in the supplement?
You know what? Interestingly enough, and we get this question quite commonly.
Okay.
We find that when you address inflammation and gut health, that maybe where you were sensitive, and I'm not talking anaphylactic, but maybe where you were sensitive, you suddenly don't have that sensitivity anymore.
Yeah.
It's all about dosing too. We microdose everything in the product. So whether it's garlic or tomatoes, et cetera, it's microdosed. So we've seen people that weren't able to eat tomatoes, they can eat tomatoes now.
Yeah.
The same with garlic causing a sensitivity. Again, dosing matters, and that is why we do the microdosing for keep giving the body these microdoses of these nutrients, and things start.
Because that would be my big draw. Well, I don't get the reaction that I used to get from food sensitivity testing, and that's like always my goal with my clients is like, if you love Chinese food, like I will meet you halfway. We'll get you to the point where you won't feel bad eating that because you heal the gut.
Right.
So then you don't feel as bad when you have the things, but it's like, if I give them this supplement too early, will they like have a lot of inflammation and feel, so that would be like an interesting thing.
So really interesting. I've got a specific story, which if I can share it. So we had a lady that came to us, and she said, I've been sick for 25 years and nobody's been able to help me. I will not list everything that they said was wrong with her, but she was down to eating a clean cooked chicken breast in 1 or 2 types of oil and steamed broccoli. She could eat nothing else. She was miserable. She looked extremely frail. And she gets the customized, or she gets her formula, and she says, oh, there's tomato juice powder in it. I'm allergic to it. And I said, are you anaphylactic? She said, no. And I said, what happens? She said, my mouth turns into one huge canker sore. And I said, well, I'm sorry. It is part of the base. Okay?
Yeah.
That can't be removed. I can remove blends based on genes, but I cannot remove the base. She said, you know what? I have to try it. She taught me a lot. She taught me so much. She didn't start on a full dose.
Yeah.
She started on one single capsule. So we checked in back and forth over the next few weeks, and I said, what was your reaction? She said, my mouth was a little sensitive, but it was fine. So she just continued. It was probably somewhere between 4 and 6 months. I started getting phone calls. You're not going to believe what I ate.
Yeah.
So she had worked herself up to her full dose. She was eating tomatoes. I met with this lady just a few weeks ago, and she said, I never wanted to travel. We never ate out. It's impacted my life. I never could have a glass of wine. She said now she's retired and she's traveling the world.
It's like beautiful when that. Yeah.
I mean, and she says this has changed everything. She says, I can actually go into a restaurant and order off the menu. The 2 things I still avoid are sugar and dairy. I know that for me. She said, other than that, I can eat everything else. And I mean, she goes, Kim, I wasn't able to do that for 25 years.
I think too, it's people, sometimes you feel worse before you, not worse, but like sometimes you have to go through that hard point before you get better, because she's got to start to heal the body. Her body has to relearn it. It sounds like your supplement, and the makeup of it.
It supported her at a foundational level.
Yeah. And then your body learns to do what it needs to do, just like what you said in the very beginning. That's
absolutely
awesome. Okay, one
Anything
more question.
else important?
I do. I want to ask about my kid. So my kid has oppositional defiant disorder, so ODD, and then ADHD. So you were talking about the autistic kid who just had remarkable changes, and I've done. When you have a kid with ODD, it's hard to get them to even eat. Like, that's a challenge. So he just got where he started swallowing pills. So I would love to hear any thoughts on that.
I think that in closing, truly, we're all unique. We all have our own set of genetics. Everybody's talking about biohacking. So many people are taking supplements. Why are they taking what they're taking? Okay, so your son's unique. He's got his own makeup. I understand if we could see that and understand that it's highly likely methylation, but
Yeah.
you can't just address methylation.
Yeah.
You have to come in and address oxidative stress and inflammation to get the biggest benefit of doing so and see what happens. Everybody's different. Some people feel it when they address their genetics, like I did. Other people don't. My husband didn't feel anything. His blood work looks different. It looks fabulous. But again, everybody's different. That's what we have to get to the point that we are recognizing people as individuals, and personalization is the future.
Yeah, I've started to work on, we had a big major shift, and I don't know if it's like I pulled out any and all crap in our house. Like, I'm divorced, so 50% of it is going to be crap, and I was like, I have to change something, and he started swallowing supplements, so we started working on like the gut microbiome. Completely different kid.
Isn't that amazing?
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, thank you so much for joining me at Biohackers World.
Yeah.
And Missouri girls.
Oh, yeah. Originally, I grew up in Missouri.
Yeah,
I did.
I'm from Missouri, so
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Come join us at Biohacker Miami, November 1st and 2nd.